All right there. Nice timing, good mood, good attitude, day's work under the belt. Lovely. Let's go. Yeah. How wonderful. I've got into this. I've done this Monday. I've got it sorted. It's taken me nearly half a century, but I've done it. I think it took 16 years or, well, hang on, about 10 years of state schooling to make me hate and fear the dread and misery of a Monday. You know, that every time you're 8 years old, you've been out playing with your mates, you're at home and you've got your action men and they've got the new grip hands and he finally can hold on to that gun. You're not using a bit of plasticine and wedging it under its arm and the tank's rolling and your old man's made a windmill in the pond and the weekend was just bliss and your family and mum's in the kitchen and it's the same smell every Saturday and everything's wonderful and it's like 8 o'clock and if you're lucky you're going to get to watch the Sweeney and all these wonderful things that you just make it lovely and you get to bed at night and you lay down and the room smells like your room and it's got all your little weird bits and bobs everywhere. And then it's Sunday. Then it's Sunday night. And that dread, that reality, that all that freedom, all that substance. I mean, I'm not over egging this. The state education system is crap. It is damaging, and it is. Do you have to say anything more than that? It's damaging. It damages children, and I'll say it, especially men, boys. But men is actually right because it's the men who end up damaged. The boys go into defense mode. The boys go into accommodation mode. They start changing the way they think so they can control themselves. Otherwise, they get put on medication, as you know. So they change, and the men that come out of the things that the young boys do to cope with that hideous situation, the strategies that their brains do just out of a need to survive, aren't great as adults. They're where you get the aggressive people from. That's where you get the addicts from, the violent people, you know, all the broken biscuits that make up European people at the moment. So much of it comes from the education system. It's an absolute disgrace. Anyway, I haven't come here to plant that one on you. I've come here to plant the fact that I finally managed to get shot of it. I'm all right with Monday, and I was all right today. Let me change the colour a bit. I don't know about this blue and orange, me being blue and the background being orange. But I'm in an absolutely cracking mood. Got a load of work done. Whew. And that was all right as well. As I said to you before, there's only one thing worse than... the old one thing worse doesn't always work, so I'll take that back. But I'd rather be complaining about work than complaining about work. Put it like that. And we're going to get on to that. We're going to get on to revenue streams and entrepreneurial wanderings, as I called this video. We talked about before, and in many ways, I'm just sorting out the twitch. If I seem a little bit, dare I say, twitchy. Hello, Simon Collins, dropping in a little all right geezer. All right there to you. Hello, James Moore, Tech Roach, Scorry Foot. I was speaking to my nurse today. She agreed with everything. You'd get me in trouble, Scorry, with all that stuff. But yeah, of course, I think more than anyone, perhaps professionals who are actually involved in it at ground level are probably having problems matching the illusion up with the reality. I mean, it's often a juggle anyway when you're working in such a broken farce as the NHS. You know, I'm sorry, anyone who's got anyone they love or them themselves work in the NHS, right? I apologize now if you take this the wrong way, but this isn't an attack on you. But I detest the way we've been made to love the NHS. It's a business and it's a shit one. That's my thought of the NHS. It's a terribly run failure of a business. and all this walking out in the street and applauding for people. What? We should do that for people who actually keep us alive, like the people who prepare food or the people who build bridges. The NHS. You know, they've just sold us that one. That's just an endless cycle of guilt, the old NHS thing. It's just a cycle of guilt. They keep us, it's like we're hooked on it as a nation. We've somehow become addicted to this idea of a national health service. I'm not saying the NHS in itself is a bad idea. I think a national health service is a good idea. But if you see what happened to the nationalised train service, well, yeah, and nationalisation takes effort, not all the, you know, this is without the damage political correctness has done to it. I mean, it is the international health service. I mean, if I was director of that business, you know, if I was brought in as an expert to have a look at the, you know, survey the business and there's some kind of like management review, that would be my first point of contention. I'd be like, well, you know, it's obvious where all the money's going, because, you know, you're trying to run a national health service, but you're actually running an international health service. And from the outset, that ain't going to work. You know, you've got finite resources being used by largely infinite consumers. So, you know, unless you're going to change that, it's going to continue just to go down the pan. But don't worry, because there's loads of English taxpayers who love the NHS. Yeah, we love the NHS. Well, we've got the NHS. Well, you know, England's got the NHS. Right. Okay, sure. Just go look at the numbers. Go look at the numbers. Again, you know, it is a mad thing. It could make a profit easily. Anyway, so we're going to have a nice chat actually today. Let me get those ears up. It's too hot. Even at this, I've been done by the mosquitoes. Hang on, let me get some deep. There's a couple down there and they're just eating me alive. And the old toxic deep works a treat. Go on, you hungry little bastards. Try and get yourself around that. You know what? I watched a mosquito and DEET in battle the other day. It's absolutely incredible. Because there's loads out here, especially in the toilet. One of my toilets, they seem to really like that little area. It's because there's a little window next to an alleyway. So I suppose it lends itself to their kind of habitat. And I was sitting down in my room and I was just sorting out things next to my bed before I went to sleep. And I saw this mosquito. And usually I'm like, or just, come here. And I thought, what's that bastard doing? I've virtually showered in DEET. Then I just thought, fuck it, I can't be bothered with chasing it around. And I watched it come near to my legs. And what they usually do, mosquitoes, they circle. Not around the target, so that's your leg. They don't go like that. They go near it. They check it out. They're doing something. And then when they feel like it's a worthy blood sample, they pink and then they take their blood. And I watched it just getting further away. And then when it was a while back, it had come back and circle of, it didn't want to go near it. And no one really knows how DEET works. The guess is that they just don't like the smell of it. But it's pretty heavy going stuff though, apparently. Yeah, you know what, Clark says they look for standing water. They can't lay eggs in moving water. In my toilet upstairs, I see 2 of their larvae once. I took a photo of it. I couldn't believe it. I had little squigglers moving in the toilet water. I mean, how rapid's that? How did they get in there? I don't even think I've been away. Look at that. Beatty had dengue fever in Cambodia. Ugh. Yeah, not the place for it. This is what people say to me about DEET. That'll make you ill. I go, yeah, not as much as those mosquitoes. Anyway, lovely to have you all here. All that citronella. Listen, I used to take a girlfriend out to Cambodia and Thailand on holiday. The mosquitoes loved her. We counted over 170 bites once. And I said to her, darling, get some DEET. And she was like, no, it's bad for you. She had citronella candles. She had citronella oil. She had citronella balls you put in the bed. She had citronella everything. Probably spent $100. Really? In preparation before going on holiday. Natural citronella spray. She made her own spray out of raw citronella oil and a little mixer and you name it. 170 bites. Now, perhaps without various citronella contraptions, she might have got 200, might have got 300. But when I finally convinced her to get the DEET on, she got 2. And we had a nice holiday. So, you know, you can poke your citronella. All it done was made my holiday smell like a hippie. And that's an expensive holiday to smell like a hippie. Gregor, I don't think we can quite get to the stage where anything I mention more than once counts as jamming. I mean, we're now jamming if we're going to go by those rules. So, you know, slow up a little bit. Right, let's get this grift on. This morning was a disaster grift-wise. I'm aware of Christmas, but it doesn't count. Hang on, let me just get my Twitch back on as well. As soon as I get this grift on, I am going to launch. I'm going to launch just twice into this entrepreneur business. And again, this isn't just aimed at young people. As soon as I get this grift on, I am going to launch. Shush. I'll tell you a bit about my story, and then I'll give you a little bit of advice, and I'll give you a little bit of opinion, which is all I can really do on this channel. And I hope to inspire some action and some conversation, which is kind of what we do here. Nice to have 160 in on the Monday afternoon session. Right, people. Our pal says we're launch jamming. You see how bad it gets. Exactly, John. I mean, that's what we done. We just mixed up. We just we got a little toy of citron and we dipped it in Nutella and she put it everywhere. Still got bitten. Nice one, King Athelstan. Merry Griftmas. Get some DEET for your missus. That missus is long gone. This one doesn't get any. I tend to be the absorber of all things mojito. So thank you. I don't know why you mentioned that, but we did talk about it this morning. Yes, Skin Scar. Wonderful, isn't it? I mean, I've been here all day, but I've certainly finished my work. I probably will do a little bit of work later, but I've finished the work that needed to be done, sort of thing, that involved other people. So it's different when it's a bit casual and I've got a nice podcast or documentary on in the background. I watched an amazing Joe Calzaghe documentary today. Oh, it had me in tears. It did. Him and his father. If you're even just mildly into boxing, you know, not like a major boxing fan, but if you're a little bit into boxing, watch the Calzaghe. I'll get you the link. Watch the Calzaghe boxing documentary. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. You know, his old man trained him. His old man weren't a boxer, let alone a trainer. It's incredible. What goes on to become world champion, 4 belts. It's quite something. I've just put the link in the description. If you're even a little bit into boxing, check that out because it's a marvelous documentary, really well made. Yeah, that's it, Candy. His old man Enzo. Yeah. It's quite something. Right, there's that. Right. Most of what I'm going to tell you is available in a more interesting and certainly more thorough version in the book I've recommended before, Felix Dennis's How to Get Rich. Because the proof of that book and the proof of how I know anyone can make money in Europe, right? If you're in Western Europe, let's say the UK, you are amazingly well placed in terms of the world audience, the world markets, to earn money. You can't see it. Sorry. You'll be able to find it somewhere. Come on, you know how to use the internet, people. Just go and find it. Well, I've done my best, but I'm sure you can find it. Nothing's copywritten here. Pirate Bay works a treat. You watch any telly station. I don't know how they've got away with it. Maybe no one cares. Let's just keep it like that. I was always into making money. Always. Because we had none. Now, I know this is a tedious story. All we had, we didn't have a pot to piss in, so if we didn't make money, we'd go without. It wasn't quite that bad, but I was aware that I had no spending freedom when I was about 7. You know, there were things that I wanted that I couldn't get. When I first got pocket money, when I first earned money, I spent it on food. And that is the same with a lot of my mates. We didn't get our pocket money and buy toys. You know, and the first pocket money I got, I think I was when I was about 11, and it was £1 a week. 1 English pound a week in 1983. I'll tell you what, it didn't go far. And the first week I ever got it, I bought a bag of Satsumas and a pack of custard creams. I ate the lot and I puked the lot up. And I've always had a bit of trouble with Satsumas since then. Really brings it back a little bit. That and smoked salmon. There you go. Absolutely amazing candy. I think it was 2p. But this is what my mother told me. I remember my granddad gave me a goat skull. Probably why I've got more than too many tattoos referring to our Caprine friends. But I was given this goat skull. And like I say, my mother tells me this. I don't actually remember it. I kind of remember it because my mother told me now. But she said that I had it on a table in the front garden in the middle of the terrace. And as people walked up and down the road, walked past the garden, I'd sort of say, they'd be like, what's that? And I'd be like, that's a goat skull. You can touch it for 2p. And Mum said that I was doing proper 7-8 hour shifts out there. She said I was getting up in the morning, put the little stool out, put a little bit of cloth on it, on goes the goats thing. And I even wrote a little, Mum told me, I even got a little bit of cardboard off the back of a cornflakes pot and put 2p on it and put it in front of it. Now, coming in at the end of the day with 40p doesn't sound like a lot, but to a 6-year-old who didn't have a lot, I'm already thinking, this is rather interesting here. This is rather good. This stuff, money, that means I can now go out and buy some refreshers, you know, the yellow refreshers with the sherbet in them, that everyone knows are the best sweet ever invented. I mean, you know, who's going to actually challenge that? The yellow refreshers with the spitefully citric sherbet in front of them wins the sweet was. And I knew I could now buy some of those. And I could certainly buy some more. Of course, Rusky, they're everyone's favourites. And anyone who says otherwise is lying. And I just realised I had this ability. And it moved on. I was around my nan's once on a weekend. And my nan's boyfriend, Bill, who worked down the docks, who had the swallows tattooed on his hands, he was just tidying out a cupboard or something. And I was just in there, just really, be honest with you, just thinking, I wonder if I can get anything here. I wonder if any of this toot he's going through I can have. And he found a box of watch straps, cheap sort of just watch straps, you know, some that sort of stretched a little bit, some that were like fake leather or whatever, but about 40 of them. And he went, you can have them. And I bet he thought, lovely, I'm getting shot at them. And he said, you can have them. I'm about 10 years old at this stage. Went home, little stool out in the front garden, little cloth down, put all the watch straps down. £1 each. £1 each. You'll be surprised how many people want a new watch strap especially when it's on the walk home, because where my mum's house is well placed that a lot of commuters walk up from the train station to get to their nice pads up on Fleet Estate, where they think they got more money than the rest of Dartford to this day. And so, you know, they'll be like, what's all this? £1? All right, no, nice. Give that to my missus when I get in, or I need a watch strap. Yes, Mr. Powell, get your watch straps here. After that, after the watch straps, I remember talking to the bloke up the top shop, the little Indian shop on the corner of the street, as we know them. And he was just telling me, he was a young bloke. He was young. It wasn't his shop, it was his old man's. And he was sort of telling me, you know, he obviously thought it was amazing telling me. He said, no, we buy all the stuff that you buy, but we get it cheaper. And then we sell it to you and you give us more. And I was like, oh, I get it. So it's much like what I'd done with the skull and the watch straps, but you've got a premises and you've got a wider variety of things. And so I said to him, well, I'll tell you what, how about you get me a couple of boxes or something? I'll pay you a little bit more than what you pay, but you sell them to me for a little bit less than what you sell them for individually. To the son, he was only about 14. He went, all right. So I bought 2 boxes of sherbet dib-dabs. Remember the old sherbet? Oh, it makes the mouth hurt a little bit thinking about it. Little red lolly. Oh, God. Oh, it's putting my teeth on edge. And you know the ones? Oh, hang on. I need some water. I wish I could rinse the memory away. And I put them in my, hang on, talking about grifting, let me get the entropy up and running. King Athelstan, you deserve one of these, I think. Athelstan. Right, you can support this channel by throwing a couple of quid at the super chat, which is over there. Thank you, Little Bullet, by the way. I got your one earlier that you gave before the stream started. So the $sign over there, that's a super chat, or via Entropy. I've just put the link in the description. That's appreciated. I'll get on to grifting the stream in a minute as well, because that's part of this story and a part I'm quite happy to be honest about, as I've always been honest and upfront about. Took these sherbet dib-dabs to school. No event or anything. I just took them to school. Now, these dib-dabs at the time were something like 15p a pack or whatever. So I was selling them for 12p a pack, something like that. But it wasn't that I was selling them for a couple of pence cheaper. It was the fact that I had them on me. That bag went round school with me all day. So people could buy them off me at any point. I was doing about 100 bags a day. Next week, I've gone back to him. I said, I need 6 more of those. Next week, I bypassed him, talked to the old man, and then he said to me, you need to get yourself a macro card. Now, at 13, it's quite hard to get a macro card, but I found someone who had one. So it goes. Then it was the school sports day, and I had 3 other school kids turn up with our school bags absolutely full to the brim with Coca-Cola that we were selling at a very, very heightened price. And they could have got it from the shops. But you're not allowed to go to the shops when sports days on. No, you stay there in the blistering heat. Coca-Cola, £1 a can, lovely. Here we go, bosh, bosh, bosh. Just enterprising. And then, of course, I got into drugs. And I'll just be honest with you. We were all buying acid. And it was like £5 a blotter. And we were doing so much of it, this gang of about 10 of us. At the weekend, we were all doing 4 or 5, like 2 on Friday and 3 or 4 on Saturday, because you've got to double up. And I was thinking, who are we giving 10 of us and doing 3 or 4 each? That's 200 quid. And one night, this is quite a mad story. When we were tripping, we were actually on acid, right? There was these 2, they looked beautiful, these girls. They looked absolutely beautiful. They were just sitting on this hill that overlooks Dartford, overlooks the valley. Thank you, Chris Holloway. Appreciated. Oh, it was a bit late, but you got there. Oh, that might have been yours. Well, let's do another one just to make sure. Other one. Little Bullet. Did you think that my monster was a dip? Steady. He's referring to a photograph of his tree he sent me. Right, so we met these 2 girls on this sort of grass bank overlooking the valley, and we're all just tripping. And I sort of thought, well, hello a minute. It's not often you encounter a couple of princesses in Dartford whilst tripping, so I moved in. Oh, well, hello, ladies. And they were sort of like, what are you doing? And I said, well, we're tripping. And she went, oh, God, isn't everyone? And I was like, what are you? And they went, yeah. And I just thought they were lying. I just thought, what's the chances of bumping into it? They were a bit older than me. So you can imagine when I was about 16, they were about 20 and they looked hot. They were hot, right? And they went, where'd you get your acid from? And all this. I was just saying, some geezer, blah, blah, blah. She said, well, look, here's my boyfriend's phone number. He gets through quite a lot of it. Give him a call one day. Next day, give him a call. Lived about one road away from my mother. Went round there. He gave me 500 blotters. He just went, here. He went, go and sell them. He went, when you've got 500 quid, come back and I'll give you some more. He only wanted £1 each for them. They were going for a £5 each. So obviously to my mates, I said, look, mates rates to you lot, 250. I'm taking the risk. They were happy. They were now getting it half price. On a weekend, I'd make 500 quid. Easy. Without doing anything. Because we all used to trip in the same little green bit at the top of East Hill. And everyone would come up there to buy their acid. Bosh, bosh, bosh. Take care, Alan. Have a nice evening, my friend. And so this happened, and obviously that went on and on and on, and then it went mental, and then I caused myself loads of problems with the crack and got into hundreds of thousands of pounds of debts, had guns put in my mouth, got chased around the country, got chased out of houses, all that malarkey you all know from the crack diaries and a few other things. Washed up back at my mother's house. Nothing. Massive smack habit, massive benzo habit, and a massive skunk habit. And drunk from Thursday through Sunday. And my mate, who turns up in this chat from time to time, Mark, he just come round once for a smoke and that, and he went, what are you doing? And I was about 30. By this time, I've got 2 degrees, master's degree, one of them. Quite an intelligent bloke. Had loads of contacts, but literally just living in my bedroom at my mum's house, dying. And he was like, what are you doing? I was like, I don't know, man. He went, you got to do something more than this. And he gave me a computer. And it was one of those old sort of off yellow, sort of office tainted, big old machine, you know, where you bang the monitor. The monitor was about that deep. Banged that on top of a big box. Box had like a 3.5-inch hard drive or something. Got me on the internet, dial up. And I slowly set up a business. And the only experience I'd had before was touching the goat skull, buying the watch straps, getting the dib dabs, getting the Coca-Cola. There was a few more in between all that. But then the drugs, obviously. And I just started selling things. And it started going well. And so then I set up a shop online. And anything I couldn't do, and this is all you need to know about business. If you learn nothing more from this stream, learn this. If there's anything you can't do, get someone who can do it to do it. This is the most basic rule of business. This is how essentially fools have become multimillionaires. Because you get other people to do it. Yes, Marzipan, you delegate. And also, and I'll tell you this, and it's in the book. It's in that book, How to Get Rich by Felix Dennis. When you set up a business, people will try and help you for nothing. People will be inspired by your drive, by your ambition, and they'll just do stuff to help you. And it's in that book. Felix Dennis calls them fishes. And when I was reading it, I was thinking, this is nonsense. This idea that people are going to start gathering round me and putting effort in and time to help me based on the excitement of my project. It fucking happens, excuse the English. Our people are good people. And people were getting busy. I've still got a product that I sell to this day, a book with about 400 colour plates in it. 400 colour plates. Photographs that were taken, printed, all that. The geezer never charged me a penny to publish that. He used to sell it. And he said to me, no, you can sell that in your shop. I was like, do you want anything for it? He was like, nah, man, you can just sell it. over the years, probably done about 100 grand in that book profit. I mean, that ain't bad. And that's just the one project. Now, what I'm saying to you, this goes back to what we were talking about this morning in the same terms as working class indigenous British people feel like it's somehow cringe or it's somehow not right to look good and to have self-respect and to choose to value yourself. In the same reason that has kept us down and been part of the mechanics of demoralization that without a doubt we other people have suffered, so is what I'm talking about. Because if you want to make money, it's there. The ability is there. You literally need to just start generating wealth. 3/4 of the population are out every day working. Why are they doing that? To get money. What are they getting money for? To spend, to buy stuff. So you can start generating wealth. You can produce things. You can make us do a service, whatever. And it doesn't matter what. And it's really important that it doesn't matter what. You know, I get sick and tired of people coming to me and going, you know, look, I've always been interested in fishing, so I'm thinking of setting up a fishing company. And it's like, you know, is this because you've designed something or a service or a product that's revolutionizing fishing? Or is it because you like fishing? And they're more often than not, well, I love fishing. So, and I'm like, well, fuck it. Continue to love it, because the product isn't what's important here. And your love for a product will often cause problems if you try and turn it into a business. You know, in that book by Felix Dennis, the first chapter and basically the whole book, he says this: it's all about your mindset. It's not your ability to be a great businessman. It's not about your ability to do this or do that, because business is simple. Business is simple. It doesn't get much easier. It's what the market has been going on since time immemorial. You do something or create something and you provide it at a profit. That's it. That's it. Any fool can do that. The problem is we tell ourselves we can't. We tell ourselves we can't do that. We tell ourselves, oh, that's not me. I'm not cut out for that. I haven't got any ideas, or I haven't got any this. This is what it's all about. And in many ways, that regulates the markets. But if you actually, and especially the younger people, if you want to make your life better, you need to create revenue streams. You need to find ways of generating wealth, because wealth will give you choices. And choices amount to freedom in our current situation. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. Like, look, I'm trying to release this damn novel. Now, I love writing. You know, I've put years of work into that, probably a couple of 100 hours if you were to put it all in a line. And I've cried my eyes out and I've banged my head against the wall. And I've had to make phone calls to ex-girlfriends just to fucking keep me alive. It's done me up. But I love writing. I love literature. But I wouldn't fucking do it if there weren't a chance of a few quid at the end of it. I just wouldn't. But that's not to say I'm doing it for the money. But I'm doing it for a variety of reasons that all together give me the ambition and drive to do it. It is a love of writing. It is a love of storytelling. It is a love of literature. It is a love of wanting to tell that story. It is wanting to do the girl in the story some kind of justice. And it's to earn a few quid. And that's all right. And you know what? You know, I know that we've used this grift thing as a joke. You know, we've done the whole, what was it called? The grift. What was it called? The grift drive, Dangerfield's grift. What was it called? Can someone tell me what it's called? What we used, that thing I done for a couple of months. Dollar Drive, the Dangerfield Dollar Drive. I know I made all jokes about that, But I have never seen anything so aggressive, so unnecessarily aggressive as I've seen among nationalists daring to make money. It's infuriating. You don't see it on the left. You do not see the left-wing people calling each other out for daring to make a few quid as they go. Now, look, just like I said about my novel, money isn't the key factor. It's part of the overall thing. And, you know, look, for 200 hours graft, the amount of money I'm likely to make out of that book, it's not a great return. But it's much like this. I don't do these streams for money. However, because I do get a few quid, I'm happy to sacrifice 3 hours out of my working day where I know I can guarantee I will make money, because I do get a few quid compensation. And that's why I went to 2 a day, because I thought, look, people are throwing a few quid in here. All right, I'll do 2. And it's worked out nice. Now, like, same as the book. I don't do this for the money. I've been doing this stream nearly 6 years, and I can assure you I earned nothing for the first 4. But it's part of the aspect of why I do 2 a day and why I'm happy to do them without fail. But the amount of aggro on the right, on not only the right, but the nationalist right, about daring to earn a bit of money, it's just ridiculous. And again, it goes back to the same thing that has kept working class indigenous English people down for centuries. You know, I know my place. You're not allowed to do that. Blah, blah, blah. All that kind of stuff. Oh, no, I don't like the shame of asking for a few quid. I don't. Blah, 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 blah. Why? There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with that. And so all of this, I'm telling you, how I slowly moved up my entrepreneurial curve. I still work for that business. That business is still going. You know, it's part of my life. I'm not the sole shareholder anymore, which is why when people sometimes say to me, why don't you talk about your day job, is because it involves other people, and it's not my place to involve their professional lives on the internet. But it's still going. That's my day job. And it's made my life significantly better than it would have done. Well, certainly better than it was when I was homeless in Paynton, playing a knackered old acoustic guitar for £2.50 a day. You know, this is all really important. We need to get out of this mindset of one, there's something wrong with making money, and 2, that you can't, because all of you can. All of you, whatever age you are, whatever situation you're in, you can find the time to start generating revenue in a different way to what you might have previously done. There's ways and means of doing it. And like I said, most of you are in England or the USA. You could not be better placed globally to make a few quid. And start doing it. You know, start getting busy and thinking about how you can generate get some revenue streams going. And maybe amazing point. Yeah. That one is an absolute shocker. And you get it all the time. The romanticizing about being skint. Yeah. It's an absolute tragedy. And all this also goes back to the welfare state and all these other things that we've had come at us and break us and destroy us. It's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. You are well-placed historically and geographically and technologically and educationally to make money, to create revenue streams. It's crazy that so many people just think, nah, I can't do it. It's not for me. Because it isn't actually that much of a bigger deal. Mrs. Me in it says, my family taught me how to work hard and try hard. And if you fall, pick yourself up. Well, this is the other thing. I've had people say to me, you know, I get it, Chris. I like the idea. I mean, I saw you do it. I set up my business with £100 a day smack habit, 30 odd benzos for breakfast, and a 24/7 skunk habit. Now, I'm not telling you that because I was some kind of business mastermind. I'm telling you that because it's simple. You don't actually need to be too on the ball. No, you have to work. You have to put the time in. But surely if I can do that on my arse, half asleep all day, this isn't something that's out of anyone's grasp. It's just that mindset that you think it's not for you. The idea of generating wealth is not for you. And people say to me, well, what if I do it and I invest, I've only got $5,000 saved up. What if I invest that and I lose it? So what? So what? Considering what you're betting on, which is a completely different future based on a successful business, it's probably worth the risk. And if you can't afford to lose that $5,000, don't invest it. Maybe invest $1,000 of it. Maybe take it down to 500. I started my business up with nothing. I wasn't even signing on at that point. Lil Bullet has dropped a Lady Godiva and he says, I put someone in their place last week for criticizing your grift. Soon shut him up. Lil Bullet, not as much as you just have by giving me a $5. People send me screenshots of people going out of their nut with it. That cheeky bastard streams twice a day. Oh, so what? It's not obligatory. It's not. No one gets banned if they. Why haven't you paid this week? Oh, your Skin Scar, Bunny Shonis. Where's your donations? Come on. That's how markets work. The beauty of markets is the value is regulated by the market. I don't ask for anything. I get what people feel this is worth and what they can donate. That's the self-regulation of a market. And because I'm happy with it, it carries on. It's absurd. And, when we talk about infighting, you're going to get infighting. Rusky Jew. When we talk about infighting, I'm not that bothered about infighting because all human groups argue. You're going to get it. Everywhere I've been, every group I've been in, from the Cubs to the Army Cadets to the Communist Party to this, even to the skeptic community, which I was unfortunately part of for a while in some way. You're going to get people arguing. But he's grifting. Look at him grifting. It's just like, that is so damaging. And that is really, and I know new channels, right, who are doing so much work, and they write to me and they say, Chris, how do you get donations? How do you actually go about that? And I say, just ask for them. Just once you've built up an audience, just say, look, it would be nice if you could throw a couple of quid at the channel. And he went, I can't do that. I can't do that. He was like, he wanted a way around it that didn't involve him asking. Another bloke lost his job because of what he was doing on his stream. And I said to him, you need to ask for more money. And he just didn't want to go there, even though his YouTube channel cost him his job. It's so damaging to us. Yeah, Willow, I watch some channels and they're doing like $500 an hour. And I'm like, that's a fair regulation of value. They've got like 5,000-6,000 viewers. And people know that if they throw a few quid, they're going to get it again tomorrow night. And they're going to get it again tomorrow night. It's so strange. It's so, and it does go back to working class British people and this kind of weird, strange guilt that if you're not bleeding or sweating, you don't deserve anything. It's absurd. Absolutely absurd. Oh, we've got a few people over in Twitch. Nice to see you, Twitcheroonies. Higolini. Parents are supposed to give love without conditions. With others, you need to ask it if you want. Yeah, I think it's fair enough. Exactly, Bunny Shonis. But look, hang on. We've gone down a little bit of a weird one there. I want you to consider revenue streams and passive revenue streams. This novel business, right? Once I've got that novel published, let's say it sells 50 copies a month. And I'll be plugging it and doing podcasts and marketing and all sorts of the other things I can do and exploiting connections I've got in the media and all that. Let's say I can start getting rid of 50 a month, right? 50 with my cut works out about, after tax, about 250, about 200 English a month, right? 200 English a month. You can't live on that, right? No problem. Then I'm going to write the crack diaries, but the full story, maybe in 2 parts. You know, I'll see how long it starts going. So let's say I do write in 2 parts. That goes out there. That sells 50 a month. Maybe to the same 50 who bought the other one, because they're my core of supporters. So then I've got not just once, but every month. Now I've got 150 books selling a month, and not just 50. Now that's 600 English a month. But the work's been done. I've written the book. I've written the crack diaries. In the crack diaries, I advertise the first book. In the first crack diary, in the second crack diaries, I also advertise the next book. Then I write up all my short stories, of which I've got about 200 hours of. Let's say I've got 4 books of short stories there. 4 books, that's another 4 times 200 quid a month. That's 800. Add that to, I'm now on 1,400 quid a month for work that's already been done. That's a passive income. Now, let's say all of these books sell a quarter of what I just said. I'm still now on 400 quid a month for work that's already been done. 400 quid a month. That's not nothing. That's not to sniff at, because I might find another passive revenue stream that earns me 200 quid a month. Add that to that. Now it's 600 quid a month. I might find another passive revenue stream or another active revenue stream. You know, this is what I'm saying. We're in a position to generate wealth, all of us. You don't have to be writing. You don't have to be doing a YouTube channel. There's opportunities out there. Don't get stuck down in this very basic idea, this sort of dragon's den mentality. Well, you've got to invent something. And the amount of times I've had that conversation in a boozer, when people find out I'm an entrepreneur and I've had a business, I've got a business. Well, you know, you've got to be lucky, ain't you? You got to invent that one product that's gonna, you know, change everything. No, I mean you can do, but you got to be pretty lucky to just out of the blue invent a product, or even spend years trying to invent it. I mean, let's say it takes 4 years to invent it, then it might take another 4 to get it to market if it's patented. And in the modern economic situation with China not giving a shit about patents, that's hardly worth the arse wipe it's written on. So that's 8 years, 8 years work. Well, I hope that product sells well, because you've just spent 8 years on it, going out of your mind, sitting in your workshop all night. And the month before it comes out, someone else manufactures it anyway. You know, you get away from that. You know, this is what you need to do. I'm going to give you a gem. I'm going to give you a gem now. And I absolutely mean what I'm about to tell you. Find what someone else is doing that's doing well, that's in your budget. I mean, i.e. in terms of what your initial investment can cover, labor and equipment or whatever, and copy it. Do it better. But, you know, go on. There's a bit of software you can get called Jungle Scout. I told one of the scrubs this the other day. He wrote to me, said, I'm thinking of setting up an Amazon marketplace. Why not? Loads of money to be made on Amazon. Fortunes to be made on the biggest marketplace history has ever known. And this thing called Jungle Scout, it allows you to track things on Amazon, shows you what the best sellers are, allows you to type in things. So you might go on something like Alibaba and find, I don't know, a new phone case, a new design of a phone case. It's got it's got this, it whistles, it farts, it does whatever you want. You haven't seen them before, not in England, not on eBay, nowhere. Okay, you get on Jungle Scout, you pop it into Amazon. Turns out someone's on there selling it, and they're doing 100 units a week at £10 a unit. You found it for 50 cents a unit, 50 pence a unit or whatever. Bingo. Order as many as you can, get them online and start selling them. Once that money starts coming in, right, get back on your Jungle Scout and find another product. Then add that to your list. Then when the money comes in from that, right, now I need to up my advertising game. But now you might have £5,000 in the bank. Then you get online and find an SEO agent. Can you help me out and getting my products up a bit? Or can you blah, blah, blah. Pay someone else. Lose a bit of money, but get an expert to do it. And you're then doing less. You can even then employ someone. Go on Gumtree or something. Go on somewhere where people list all their CVs. There's thousands of websites where people just list all their CVs. You can literally just contact them and interview them by Skype. Hello, can you add products to Amazon? Yeah. Can you write copy? You can do all that. Yeah. You're Filipino. What's your English like? Do a test. Blah blah blah. Sweet. I'll employ you £200 a month to list 5 items and check them daily. Yeah, you'll do that. Sweet. That's their 200. That's just saved you 5 hours a day for you to find other products and get busy getting them listed, getting them to that fella. What skill has gone into this? What ability, what business brain has gone into this? What invention has gone into this? Nothing. Drive, desire. Dennis Ridolfi Jr. That's a fantastic name. It's like a saxophone player. Oh, hang on a minute. Maybe he's got one in his mouth. Or is that a cigar? Thank you very much, Dennis Ridolfi Jr. I don't recognise your name. We have quite a regular audience around here, but you're absolutely more than welcome to be here. You haven't got to agree with anything I say or anyone else says, as long as you've got a bit of respect for the people here. Absolutely love to have you on board. And a score donation is fantastic. Thank you very much. That's very, very nice. So there you go, people. Just get this idea out of your head that you can't do it. And then just start doing it. Just start finding ways. Let me tell you another one. I'll tell you another one. I had a Staffordshire Bull Terrier, and he was an absolute beast. I'll show you a couple of photos of him. When he was a pup, he looked like the Andrex puppy, and I thought, oh, isn't he lovely? And one day, like they do, staffs, their heads split. When they mature, their heads go... And he went from the Andrex puppy to a murderer. And he was a long-legged staff as well. Weren't one of those little horrible bulldog ones, which some people like. The terrier was more expressed than the bulldog. But I'll show you a picture of him because this is an amazing story. Oh, why is my photos not working as they should? Hang on. Sorry about the dead time, but it does give you a little bit of time to relax, as I have been on one hell of a rant. There you go. That was my little Staffy. Amazing dog. Anyway, we got a trainer in because he was absolutely chaos. He was absolute chaos, that dog, because we didn't really, if you haven't had dogs before, you shouldn't really get a staff. They actually take a bit of work. And when we first got him, we were virtually homeless junkies. So we didn't look after him properly. He got out of hand. And then when we finally settled, he was still out of hand because he hadn't been trained. And this is what this trainer told us. And then he said, what first thing I want to look at, he said, is food. What are you feeding him? And we said, well, we don't give him any of that wet tin shit. We know that much. We give him the dry biscuits. And he went, he really wants raw mince meat. Raw mince. I was like, you're joking, aren't you? He said, no. He said, but don't go and buy the best cut. He said, find a local butcher and say to him, you've been told to give your dog raw mince. Can you knock up mince that's for dogs on a regular? And most of them will, by the way, people. And we were like, all right then. So this local butcher used to sell us a bag of mince, 5 days worth. Excuse me. 5 days worth for about, I think in those days, I think it was about £5. So it's costing us £1 a day, which was probably the same as what we were paying for this horrible little dry food that we used to buy in a big sack. That big sack of dry food, my dog would go over to that tin, sort of sniff it every day, poor thing. He'd sniff it and sort of, and then just walk away. And he'd graze. He'd graze at that food. And this trainer said, Staffordshire Bull Terriers aren't grazers. He went, it needs meat. It wants raw meat. And he said, so get that butcher to serve you that meat, and then occasionally give it a raw chicken. a whole raw chicken. He said, once a month or something for a treat. He said, that's all it needs. He said, you can put a bit of that dry food in with the mince occasionally, but it's more for your benefit than the dog's. And I was like, what? First day, get home, get this handful of this raw mincemeat out, all that claret or whatever it is in it, goes down my head, goes down my arm. I throw it in its tin. He zooms out of the other room, he heard his tin move. He'd never come like that when his tin moved. He could smell raw meat. He was white, that dog, white as you like. And he went 1, 2, 3, big handful of mince, gone. He had all blood round his mouth. That solved about 70% of his problems. Imagine you're human, right? You are. Don't imagine you are. You are. Imagine how hideous it would be not to have nice food. Can you imagine that every day? Hello, Dennis Rodolfi Jr. throwing a Lady Godiva at me. Stop spending for a year and you forget me. Your humble patron from way back. Dennis Rodolfi, yeah, apologies, man. Absolute apologies. That is awful. But come on, man. People come and go in the thousands around here. You really proper punishing me. You proper guilted me on that one. But thank you, nonetheless. And also, I think you'll find everyone else in the chat. And in fairness, your name doesn't crop up in the chat too much. I think the chat. Chat, give me a 1 in the chat. I beg you. If you've heard me in the last week say, and I would like to make a special thanks to my patrons and my subscribe stars who donate every month, some of them for years on end, without any glory and without any words on the screen. Those people need acknowledging occasionally. Give me a 1 in the chat if you've heard me say that in the last week. And be honest, please, because Dennis has got Dennis is pissed. Thank you very much, Scrubs, because I know I have. So, admittedly, Mr. Ridolfi, there might have been an issue with the name there, but now I've forgotten what I was going on about. Oh, yeah, the food. That sorted out about 60% of the dog problem. The reason for, I told a junkie mate of mine around that time, because he was over the moon when he come round and the dog was all great. And I said, the trainer said when we walk in, we've got to put a heavy foot down, all this sort of modern dog training methods that worked like an absolute treat. And the food. Steady. For fuck's sake, you lot tonight. How much effort have I put into this stream and all these last couple of weeks? Just help us out, will you? Thank you, Buster Brook. That's lovely. I've said it loads. Right. Anyway, and I said to this junkie, I told him, I said about the mince, and I said about his behaviour, and I said about the butcher does it cheaper for you because it's not the prime cuts. So he went round everyone on the estate who had dogs. And he said to him, I'm gonna show you something. He said, if you let me do a demonstration, you don't pay me unless it works. I'll put an handful of my special food in your dog's bowl and it'll clear it in one mouthful. And everyone was going, go on then, because no one's dog ate their food. Everyone's dog become a grazer. Everyone's dog was becoming a grazer. And so he was putting a handful of this meat into their bowl, and the dogs were going, hum. And then he'd say to him, I can sort you a week's worth of that out for a tenner. And people were like, yeah, all right, I'm in. And he said, all right, 2 deliveries a week so that it stays for five days in your fridge. Made an absolute fortune. Still got that business. But now it's not one town, it's about 8 towns. He drives around in his battered up old 1980s Fiesta, delivering raw meat. But now, because he's buying so much from the butcher, he's got the butcher down to something stupid like 40p, which what he's selling for £1, he's making 60p on the pound. You know, that's nothing. It's just something you can do. He's making hundreds of pounds a week, hundreds. It's a driving job essentially, but I think he even employs other drivers now. You know, he took a knock on the money, but he's got other people driving. Yeah, and also there's that, James, because tin dog food is an absolute disgrace. When people say dogs fart smell, they don't when you give them mincemeat. They're not great, but no one's farts are great. Let's be honest, except for your own, obviously. But when they're on mincemeat, it's fine. And like I said, chuck them a raw chicken once a month. Fuck me, you used to rag that thing around the kitchen floor until it has nothing left in it. Someone said there was a brief F, and Sean said, sounds exciting. I wish I had a brief F. Our pal says, Ken Dog's dog's dead. Oh, that was a struggle, but I got it out. So listen, people, I hope you've understood my point. If you sit down content with your earnings, you'll continue to earn what you earn. If you sit down content with your work, which you might be, of course, you might be happy with how much you earn and the work you have to do for it. That's fine. That's fine. But if you're not, and you're not doing anything about it, you are living in a permanent hell. Because if you're not happy about the situation, there's no worse place to be for a human than to not be happy about a situation and not doing anything about it. That is the worst. That's powerlessness. And powerlessness will just screw you. And the problem is, and again, this goes back to what stories we've told ourselves, working class, white British people, that we don't deserve this, we can't do that, we shouldn't look good, we shouldn't value ourselves, we shouldn't improve ourselves, we shouldn't earn money. All these things, it all goes back to that. Because we are not powerless about these things. You can just get up and you can just make the power. And go and get it done. Get on it. Get busy. And then become the person you could be rather than the person you don't like yourself being. I hope I've at least inspired some people, at least to maybe just have a look into some of this stuff. You know, there's forums. I'm a member of a forum for entrepreneurs with businesses at my level of development. But there's forums on the internet for people looking to start businesses. There's forums on the internet for people who are looking to create revenue streams. Now, don't pay for any, because all you find is the person making the money is the bloke selling you the course. But there's forums you can join where people are brainstorming and they're communicating and they're debating with each other and they're working out how they can get busy on this kind of thing. You know, make use of your internet. Make use of this ability to communicate. Don't make it all passive. Actually get out there and start talking to people. See what other people have done. See what, you know, go on to Google and type in something like entrepreneur success stories, startup success stories. Type in things like growing markets. You know, this is, I've been going on about cobblers and cordwainery for a while now. The shoe market in England is growing at a ridiculous rate. You know, if I was a young man at the moment, I would be setting up cobblers without a doubt, and I'd give it a nice edge. I'd have like some blues music playing in there. I'd have nice seats. I'd deck it out like an American diner or something, not proper nasty with loads of, you know, not like a theatre piece, but like a nice diner, not a 1950s one actually. And people can get coffee and tea in there. They can come in there. They can have a little conversation with the staff. The staff know their stuff. The staff look the piece. They've got the nice little aprons on. They've got the check shirt on. They can talk about the shoes. They can talk the history of the shoes. They can tell the people what's going on in there. And people can come in and have a chat. They don't even need to buy anything. That's what I'd do. And I guarantee I'd do that. And then once that made enough money, I'd set up another one in the next town or the next city. And once that was making up enough money, I'd make another one in another city. And I'll tell you what, I reckon you'd have about 5 years, you'd probably have 200 of them on the go. And I'm serious. Because what have you got at the moment? What have you got at the moment when your shoes need resoling or repairing? Fucking Timpson. You go in there and there's just some ex-con who's grinding keys in the background, goes, yeah, all right, mate, call it a £5. He's making millions. Timpsons are. Let me show you something. Let me show you Trenton and Heath, just as an example of a really cool shop, a really cool cobblers. I wonder if there's a version where you actually see a video where you see their shop. No, unfortunately, I'll have to look through too many videos to find you when they actually look around their shop. But that's what I do at the moment. Why? Because the market is growing at such a ridiculous pace. And when the market grows, all the little markets that surround it grow with it. Strontium Dog, they look cool as hell, those two lads. And they both, one of them gave up a very well-paid job in the city for that gig. And it's working an absolute dream. It's been an absolute success for them. I wish I could find... Yeah, look, this is just enough to out, just to get an idea of these couple of cool lads who said, thank you, European housewife. I'm noticing a lot of the high-ranking scrubs are making jokes and that, which I find they tend to do when they don't want to hear what I'm saying. So it's nice to hear that it's been appreciated somewhere. Check this out. Check out the look of these two blokes. And I'm telling you, their store is making a fortune. And they will be opening up many more, I guarantee it. Because the market is growing so quickly. Have a look at these two dudes. These are your modern cobblers. Well presented, well spoken, know their stuff, have created a good environment. They encourage people to come in and they encourage people to look after their shoes.
Hi, I'm Trenton.
And I'm Heath. And we're cobblers here in Nashville with a passion for all things shoes.
On our channel, we're going to show you recrafting, polishing, and maintenance, and we're going to give you a cobbler's opinion on the best brands of shoes out there.
We work on a lot of brands like Alden, Allen Edmond, Johnson & Murphy, Gucci, and many, many others.
We're going to take you behind the scenes and show you why buying nice shoes is so important.
And show you the inner workings and craftsmanship of all things footwear.
So welcome to our channel. We hope you'll subscribe, and we look forward to sharing all of our knowledge of shoes with each of you.
Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And I just said that someone else said, nice one, Tony, appreciated. Tony says, I'm enjoying the stream too, Chris. Positivity and motivation. Well, that's certainly the idea. Appreciated, Tony. But one of them gave up a job, a big, well-paid job in the city for that. And he's absolutely loving life now. And people saying that COVID is closing down businesses, not online businesses. Where do you reckon everyone's doing their shopping now? Where do you reckon people are shopping? Because they're at home. They're shopping online. Internet sales have gone through the roof. Let's have a look at this year's Black Friday takings. 2020 Black Friday numbers. Right, all I hear from the nationalist right is COVID. COVID is killing businesses and is ruining the economy. Right? Yeah. Let's see how correct that is. COVID is killing the economy, right? Black Friday 2020, online shopping surges 22% to a record $9 billion. Thanksgiving is up 21.6% year over year. Oh, that looks like a terrible time. That looks like the marketplace is struggling. And Trenton and Heath and all the other cobblers online, Cobblers Inc., Kirby Allison's Gig, all that lot, you send them your shoes. You send them to them. The postman comes to your door, you put them in a box and they send them to them. They repair them and send it back to you. Look, we all know this. We all know that those who can adapt the fastest will survive. It's the same in business, which is what these people are doing. Yes, some businesses are struggling. That's always been the case because the market is a continually evolving and changing thing. But not everyone, and I despise it when I hear it. Oh, the economy is fucked. Well, the economy doesn't exist, by the way. What did I just read? Something was amazing. Yeah, Sean, the UN says 60% of businesses will permanently shut. Yeah, they're always happy giving out bad news and trying to keep the small man down. Did they also tell you how many are opening and doing well, or did they again fail to give you that information? I will do. That's a very nice point of that. I just saw something else that was a great thing to read. Moody Edge, record sales since March. Do you know what I mean? Amazing work. Great stuff, Moody Edge. Moody, look, some months up 200% on last year. There you go, look. And there's plenty of people busy like that. Well, what I mean by the economy doesn't exist, it's very hard to actually define what the economy is. I mean, it's such an ever-changing and morphic kind of thing anyway. You know, the economy, whatever the economy is this week, isn't what the economy is next week. It's like a river. It's the same river, but if you put your hands in and pull some water out, it's not going to be the same water, is it? No, you're right to. You know, again, we get back to demoralization. Why do you think there's always someone? Why? Right, look. Right. Give me a 1 in the chat if you're aware that COVID is destroying the economy. If you've heard that. If you've heard that COVID is destroying the economy. Don't not do it now because of what I just told you. But if you heard, at least if you heard that, if you heard that COVID was wrecking the economy, thank you. At least some people had the bottle to. They want you to think that. They want you to fear the markets. They want you to not take risks. I can assure you that the corporations aren't struggling. The corporations are absolutely smashing it through COVID. They want that. No, absolutely, Mrs. Me in it. They want. Look, we go back to what I was saying again about the actual day-to-day mechanics of demoralization. It's all very well spouting off. Oh, we've been atomized, we've been individualized. You know, we've been demoralized. Yeah, we have. But how do they actually do that? Well, these are the kinds of things that they do. And also, and also some people are saying some of the small mum and dad shops, but some of the small mum and dad shops are absolutely smashing it because people are becoming more local because of COVID. Listen to this. When the first lockdown happened, my brother wanted to send loads of food round to my mother's house so she could fill up the fridge and the freezer with food for my mother, right? So my brother got hold of Sainsbury's. Can't deliver, snowed under because everyone's shitting themselves about COVID. Went to Tesco's, can't do it. Asda can't do it. So he found this little cottage kind of, they got a little farm and they get all their stuff sourced locally and they make their own food and they freeze it and they package it and that's it. That's all they do. And he got about 20 of them sent round to my mother. She loves their food. That's all she buys now. The second year of COVID, They said to her, look, if you want to put any orders in advance because you've been regular, but we're predicting sales to quadruple in the next quarter. This is a little tiny business and people wanting to use those. So, you know, just be aware of what's actually happening and information. People, you know, it's easy to see the big lies. We know about this, we know about that. But don't forget there's a continual running story of bullshit that they tell people like you and me to stop us moving forward. Arius, my mum's milkman has never had it so good. Can't keep up with new customers' orders. Brilliant. Yeah, YouTube went down across the globe pretty much everywhere for a couple of hours earlier. This is a great point. This is a fantastic point from Mousecat. And there's about 4 points in there worth noticing and worth taking into account based on everything I've said in this stream. People aren't going on holiday. That's usually at least $2,000 for one person. If it's a family of 4, 5, 6 grand. So that's 5 or 6 grand not spent on flights and hotels abroad, right? They've had interest-free loans up to 55 grand. Yeah, they have. Loads of businesses as well as individuals have. People have been furloughed. You ain't got to go to work, but here's 10 grand. There's plenty of filthy lucre about. Now, the elites, the media, that suddenly the UN, suddenly people are quoting the UN at me. The UN told me this, the UN told me that. And all of a sudden you're trusting the UN? They're United Nations. Does it get any more globalist? Oh, no one's got any money. Well, if no one had any money, the economy would have collapsed. That's why they give loans. That's why they furlough people. They're telling you lies. Don't try. Don't get out there. Don't get busy. Because I assure you, all the upper middle people and all the upper class people who know full well how this works, they're absolutely rubbing their hands together and absolutely milking the situation. Andrew says, the pubs and the bookies are shut. My brother has cash in his pocket for the first time in his life. Keep him away from internet bookies. They're the worst, man. There you go. Not going out. Bullseye a week. Lovely. So look, I'm not saying any of you should wake up tomorrow and become an entrepreneur. What I am begging you to do is at least have a look into it. Get on the internet, look into some entrepreneur success stories. Don't get, but you know, get through the bullshit. Don't go and read stories about John, 17, invented something to help you hang lights in weak plasterboard. Yeah, all right. The invention thing is, you know, it's 1 in a million, if that. But just your actual basic provide a service or a product at a profit. Look into those kinds of things. And there you go, people. That is the end of that stream on entrepreneurial wanderings. I sensed a bit of hostility around a lot of what I said. And you know what? I blame what I'm talking about on that. I think a lot of that's got to do with the way this makes people feel. I think people think money's dirty. I think people think they're not worth that, or that they're somehow failed if they haven't done that, because that's all part of the demoralization. And they're the thoughts, that's the way of thinking you've got to step out of. Not just to earn a few quid, but to save Europe. I mean, let's remember what this is about at the end of the day, because I can assure you all those visitors are making an absolute packet. Oh, that's very kindly received. Oh, hello, Blair Phillip. Lovely. Thank you for that donation. It says, stay well, Chris. Cheers for the good message. Lovely to see someone come out of the background with a donation and a wonderful sentiment. Thank you, Blair Phillip. Nice one, John. Appreciated. I do appreciate that. I sometimes leave these slightly jarry streams positive that I've done what I came here to do, but you know, I sometimes feel that I rub people up the wrong way when perhaps if I did do that, I haven't done my job as well as I'd liked to have done it. Oh, I like that one. I like that a lot. The remoralization starts here. Oh yeah, I'll absolutely get hold of that. Alfonso, if you only want money for sweets, go and get a goat skull. I've done it. Nice one, Bunny Shonis. Appreciate. No, didn't think so. Not Tony. I didn't think that. Tony says, no hostility here. Some of the happiest people I know are running their own businesses, and the way you put it across, Chris, should give people hope. Nice one. Much appreciated, Tony. Nice one, Dub Power. Nice one, Buster Brook. So good they named him twice. A good show. Scrubs joke. It's not again. No, I know. You know what? I know that. You know what? I know that from now, but I think I'm just being honest. Sometimes I am a little bit. It's one of the weak points about my streams. I am a bit sensitive when the chat seems to be drifting away from what I'm saying, which is actually your prerogative. You know, you do what you fucking want. Excuse my English, but I think if I haven't maintained a certain level of attention, I haven't spoken as well as I could. What I've actually got to remember is people are interested in some things more than others. So. But appreciate good. Thank you, Buster Brook. Nice one. Nice one, Ragnar. You are delivering the white pill, brother. Nice one. Nice one. Well, I committed to that when I decided I was going to continue making videos. I committed to white pills and proactivity, not black pills and reactivity, because it's no help for anyone. It was literally starting to send people mad. I was watching it happen. Thank you, Skin Scar. Thank you, Ragnar. Nice one, Mouse Cat. Mouse Cat. You thought long and hard about that one, didn't you? Thank you, mate. Appreciated. Nice one, Fionn McRon. You are probably one of the most optimistic people here, Chris. You keep us sane. You keep us motivated. Thanks. That's lovely. Nice one, Fionn. Well, there you go. I've kind of had my little bit of immature fear turned on its back. Cracking stream, Chris and Scrubbingtons. Nice one. Thanks, Packer. Yeah, Pete, I know that. Thank you. Yeah. Borderline something. Nice one, Lil Bullet. With his big, airy monster. Nice one, Batch. All right, people. That was very kind of you all. Marzipan says, if you start talking shite, we amuse ourselves. You usually claw it back. Don't take it personally. It's only you. I think that's lovely, Ian. Thank you very much. That's nice of you all. Thank you. Well, on that, Red Eye Rebel says, remember to chuck Chris a few quid if you're going to make millions. Yeah. I want my cut. unless you've already been a donator, of course, and then consider it quits. Enjoys, what a peculiar thing to say. Enjoys this stream and the conversations. Cheers and love you all. Cat and Matt. Oh, you're giving the game away with that last one. Mrs. Me in it, by the way, in an incredible Christmas package with the handmade Christmas crackers and the little different honeys and the Christmas pudding and the brandy to feed the Christmas pudding and the bauble and the little Christmas tree. Excuse me. I also forgot to mention there was some Angel Delight, and I opened it up and it was chocolate flavored, and I thought, oh, that's nice. And then I turned that one, and there was another one underneath. Yes, butterscotch flavour. I might have that tonight for dinner. Thank you, Mrs. Minute. Martin the Confusitor is 5. Got Friday on my mind. Well, it's Friday Eve, Martin. So you know, well, what's the drama? Yeah, Jim, I will be looking at that. I'll be preparing some stuff, though, so that we've got a few more videos to look at rather than me just repeating myself, trying to kick this message home. I've got half a bar of Lindt in the freezer. Oh, chocolatey glass. Oh, Ralph, without a doubt. But it's got to be butterscotch, really. I'll palm the chocolate one off on the missus. But yes, Steve, without a doubt. Look, Candy's just said it outright. No comment, no joining in with anything, just butterscotch. Yeah. What is it about butterscotch? What even is that flavor? It doesn't exist anywhere else, does it? It's just Angel Delight butterscotch. God, I can taste it now. Oh, man. Give me a 1 in the chat if you used to get... I wonder if anyone else... Look at Steve. He's getting right into it. Look, he's rolling up a tube. Breathe in the butterscotch dust. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's Lindt. No one knows how to say it. That's right. Lindt. Lindt. They sell it out here. Family-sized bar. I spend all night. I just keep going back to the freezer. And it's so hard. I have to put it on the... I try and break it with my hands. I have to put it against the side of the work surface and go, gang! Oh, good Lord. Thank you, little bullet. When's the pic show? After Christmas. People, stop sending me pictures of your pets because you're going to have to send them again because I am not in a position to regulate them at the moment. I've got this new email client and it's chaos. So don't send your pet photos yet. Thank you, little bullet. That's going to be after Christmas. But yeah, butterscotch. Right, give me a 1 in the chat if your mother ever used to serve you up tinned pears with butterscotch Angel Delight. Tinned pears with butterscotch Angel Delight. Who was on that? Let me know who was on that scene with me. Look, Rage was right on it. Yeah, Sean, I'm literally my mouth. If I lean forward, it's going to just be dribs. Look how many people. Rage, Kinson, Moultriartis, Powell, Batch, Tyler, me in it. Dog Power, Trash Money, good Lord. Incredible. Yeah, those are the days. And you have to try and get as much of that. Oh, God. You've got to get as much of that Angel Delight in before it mixes too much with the syrup. Oh, look. God, Sean's got it downstairs. Oh, yeah, tinned peaches and ice cream. And it's always that nasty Neapolitan ice cream. Chocolate, strawberry, vanilla. A little slab of it. Oh, cool. Yeah, me too. I'm all over the place. Nate, are you doing another photography comp? I've been taking a lot of snaps. Well, it was never a competition in the first place, but I understand your question. We're doing 2 more, and neither of them include what you've just said. We've got lined up, but they're both going to be in the new year now. We have got just straight out saying that. I'm just trying to think if I've got enough milk here to get it made as soon as this stream's finished. Maybe we should do a stream one day where we all just eat butterscotch Angel Delight. I'll make some. Everyone who's got some can make some. And we'll just start the stream. We can all sit again. Oh, that's good. Oh, I mean, what about this one? I'm sorry that this entrepreneur scream has rapidly just gone downhill. Give me a 1 in the chat if when you used to eat your Angel Delight, you'll do the one that mothers do for their newborns, where you flatten the spoon off. So you basically taking the top off, so the spoon is now flat with your butterscotch Angel Delight. So you're not doing the old spoon. You're sort of just taking the top off the spoon. Give me a 1 if you've done that with your Angel Delight. It's so funny. I can imagine little Roy Kinson. Look at you people, absolutely cracking me up. That's really tickled me. Look at that. Moultriartis is actually proud. Oh, yeah, standard. British standard. Savouring. Savouring the paradise. Because in many ways, you're getting twice as many spoonfuls, aren't you? Look at this. One for savouring. Oi. How old are you? Out of interest, roughly. Oh, that really tickled me. I've got a sore throat now. Savouring the paradise is so incredible as a kid when that Butterscotch Angel Delight comes out. They absolutely nailed it, didn't they, there? I know. Mrs. Me in it has sent me some. I've got some behind me. I've got some here. Arts of Delight. What the fuck is happening? Right, I don't want to continue. DBB doesn't even know what it is. Go, right, eBay, maybe Amazon. I beg you to order butterscotch flavour Angel Delight. You've seen the kind of response that grown men and women who are usually quite heavy and hard, you can see what people have, how they've responded to it 20 years, sometimes 30 or 40 years after Angel Delightful. Anyway, good Lord. Well, this couldn't have ended in a nicer way, could it? Absolutely wonderful. People, I will see you at about 7:30 or 8 o'clock in the morning, UK time. And if you're going to get some Angel Delight, make sure it stays in the fridge long enough. You get that out too early, you've screwed it. Make sure it stays in there. If you have to make a little smaller tester, get a little smaller one, make the big one, and then you can use the little one because you're not patient enough. But if you have it too soon, you'll be gutted. You'll be absolutely gutted. What an absolute dream of a stream. Look how quickly that all cheered me up after I thought that everyone was pissed. People, it's been an absolute pleasure. I will see you about 7:30 to 8 o'clock UK time. Thank you. You got rid of my headache this morning, and this has just ended off in an absolute pleasure. Ta-da!
All the world loves a lover. All the girls.
Sorry, our pal. Remind me in the morning, mate.
To know the joy of loving is to live in the world of man. There's someone who's waiting for you. Soon the world will be yours for a time. Music starts to play, night will turn to day. Darkness disappears when the one you love is near. You're in man. All the world loves the lover. All the girls in every land are meant to know. Joy of loving is to live in the world of mankind. There's a place that is waiting for you, a world where the best in life is free, where time is always spring, happiness is king. Dreams you dream come true when the one you love loves you. You're in man.
Enjoy the rest of your Monday, people. I mean, tomorrow it's Weekend EVV. I mean, I can't believe we're already a quarter of the way to the magic day. Make it a good evening. Don't eat too many sweet foods, especially not those Farley's rusks. Nah, that won't work. Trust me. Ta-da!
All the world loves a lover. All the girls and every land a man to know. Joy of loving is to live in the world of mankind.
Go on, go and play down your own end. You won't get your angel delight. Go on, get out.